Okay, welcome to Internet Anytime number 11. Today I'm doing something different. I am going to have a chat with my friend Mo McNichols. He just joined the Zoom meeting, so let's let him in. Oh, hello.
Hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
good. Just turning my volume up here.
Okay.
I had my volume down earlier because I was listening to something that I didn't want anybody else to hear.
Mm.
Are you smoking weed?
Listen porno?
Yeah, exactly.
Right on. I usually try to blast that shit.
See, I want to give my roommate, like, I don't want to make him uncomfortable. And you know how like the sex noises in porn is like so loud, like, you can have it turned down, but it doesn't really matter. Like they're in the echoiest room all the
Oh
time.
yeah, and I'm sure that's intentional too. They got like the best microphone.
Well, they do have like that's a job. It's like a boom operator or whatever on those sets, which has to be awkward. But yeah, I've always thought about the sound as a former professional sound person of pornos because yeah, the echo is just really intense and loud. And yeah, they should baffle those rooms.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I'll get some overdubs. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you? How's the mood in Minnesota today?
It's whatever. I'm just trying to find a job at a restaurant, and it's kind of hard right now.
Are they closed there or what?
They're just reopening, but like 50% capacity, and um, you can have a patio seating if you like, but who's going to sit out in the patio right now in Minnesota?
People desperate, Minnesotans who are used to the cold and shit.
I
I
mean,
don't
fuck
know.
those people.
I mean, it seems like the regulations or whatever you want to call it are just changing so frequently. Like, how can today you're like, oh, I want to look for a restaurant job. There's 50% capacity, but in like a month they could be like, oh, back to shutdown.
Back to closed again. I know. Well, I mean, I see like the light at the end of the long ass tunnel as far as COVID goes, and I'm just like trying to get out of retail before restaurants completely reopen. Otherwise, there's not going to be any jobs because all the restaurants are closed. Like a bunch of shit closed permanently.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to get in it right now. And I have experience. I'm not worried about that. It's like I just don't want to sell knives anymore.
That's
what
what
I'm
you're
doing
doing.
right now.
You're selling
Yeah,
knives.
I'm selling knives. You remember when I was on tour and then I would like go and work at Guitar Center and I just like hated Guitar Center and
Yeah.
it confused me because I'm like I should enjoy this. I love music, and like it was the same thing. It's like I can't work at a restaurant. I'm gonna go sell restaurant equipment. But like I just hate retail. I think that's all it boils down to.
Yeah.
It's nothing against the store or anything like that. It's like not for me.
So they're like a restaurant supply store. It's not like you're like a door-to-door knife salesman.
No, they sell kitchen supplies. So yeah.
Hello, my name is Mo. Would you like to buy
Yeah.
some knives?
Yeah. I have this fantastic cutlery for you to take a look at. This 7-inch Santoku knife will chop up your vegetables. Do you have any garlic in here?
Oh my God, it'd be pretty hilarious. You texted me that you are promoting your bitters or something like that.
Yeah, I have I had a lot of time on my hands and I started like growing. I don't know. Last time we talked, I think I showed you some of my plants. I started growing a lot of like produce inside hydroponically, and it's
Uh-huh.
super fun. And now I'm like exploring. Um, so who I don't know what your audience is. For the audience, I Kuba Goon here and I played music together, and I'm also very passionate about food and beverage. And I'm mostly a cocktail creator over here. So I started this bitters line, and it's launching today. And Internet Anytime viewers can get 10% off at checkout by typing in the promo code Anytime 2021.
Sick. All right, cool.
So this is a bottle of Mo's original hibiscus bitters. I have 8 different flavors on my website, moblunts.com. It's Mo with no E, blunts with a Z.com. And you can get it right off the website, and I'll ship it to you.
Sweet.
So yeah,
I'll put all the info in the descriptions.
Yeah, man.
Maybe they can be on sale for like a week or something.
That's probably what's gonna happen.
All right.
Until the code just like ends up in the ether.
You know, I was thinking about it after your text last night, and I used to bartend as well. And I'm sure at one time I knew like what was in bitters, but I was thinking about it, I was like, I don't even know what bitters is. Like, what is
So it's basically like condensed alcohol with a bittering agent and like a flavor to it. So like booze itself, let me backtrack. The flavor profile bitter is one of 5 flavor colors that you can play with. The others being like sweet, sour, savory. I'm forgetting one. Anyways, the flavor profile of bitter actually makes your salivary glands swell. And it produces spit. And anything after that happens, that like physical action inside your throat, will make it all the other flavor profiles they'll come forward more. So like sweet will taste sweeter, sour will taste more sour. So in a cocktail specifically, when you're adding bitters, usually it's like the way to finish the cocktail. And if you do it right, you can get people to buy more drinks.
Gotcha.
It can also be used to like add cool colors and just like extra flavors, something that wasn't there. So I have like a couple, like my hibiscus turns out to be like this red hue, and it looks really cool in a drink. I have one that's like blue. And then the classic is the Angostura, which is like when you make it from scratch, it's like cinnamon, cloves, allspice. And then the bittering agent I use is called gentian root, and it's actually medicinal, and it's used as a digestive. So if you even just like drink bitters with soda water, like there's alcohol in the bitters, but it'll like actually help you digest your food if you just drink it with soda water. So like the profile like actually does physical things to your body that make you, it helps you be more attracted to other elements of your meal.
Gotcha. And it can be kind of like made out of anything then? Like the main ingredient?
Yeah, it can be, but you could also put gummy worms on a pizza.
Sure. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, like there's certain flavors that definitely like work as a bittering flavor, like cinnamon, for instance. Okay. Like everybody likes cinnamon. Not everybody, but like people like cinnamon and stuff. Ginger. But like the main flavor profile is bitter. So like it's like a lot of people like bitter, they just don't know it because it's usually paired with something like sweet or sour or savory, and the reason why they like the bitter is because they taste the other flavor profile.
Gotcha.
That makes sense at all? Am I like
it does make sense, and I hadn't really, I've drank bitters and soda before, and I hadn't really thought about like what it actually tasted like. I'm just like, oh, this is what bitters taste like, but it tastes like what you described. There's like a bit of cinnamon, there's a bit of ginger, and it does have that bitter flavor. Also talking about like even the word bitter, I think in English it kind of has a bad connotation, like that translation into other languages, bitter doesn't have such a negative like feel to it. Like when we say bitter, it's like usually means this. But
yeah, right.
Cultures, bitter can be like, that's good. We want that.
Yeah, for real. What is the word for bitter in Czech?
Hořký.
Yeah.
It's like HOR with like one of those things on it. So it's hořký. 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 And that word like applies to a little bit more than bitter, I guess. Like it can kind of mean spicy a little bit too, I guess.
Okay,
Like there's a
gotcha.
little bit of
Okay,
crossover there.
yeah.
Because they don't really have like spicy food,
Uh-huh.
So when something actually is spicy, they just say it's like bitter or sweet.
Bitter or sweet? Okay, husky.
Husky.
The other flavor profile is forgetting is salty. So like the 5 colors you can work with: bitter, sweet, sour, salty, and savory or umami.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
what a great bitters lesson we just had. I was surprised at how little I
I'll talk to you
know.
about it later.
That's cool. Have you been doing other stuff like involving cooking and bartending? I love your YouTube little snips of you making things like cheesecake, fruity pebble tacos. Those look good.
Yeah, that was fun. So with this bitters line, if you order a bottle, I'll send you like a thank you card with a QR code on it. You can take a picture of the QR code, and it will send you to my new series, which is called Uncle Mo's Exotic Elixirs. And it'll show you different ways on how to use your bitters in different cocktails.
Okay, wow. Well,
yeah, so that's my new thing that I've been doing.
Sweet.
Yeah.
First half of our podcast, a plug for your bitters line.
Thanks,
there you
bro.
Go. You're welcome.
How's your series going? You liking this? Yeah. You got a nice backdrop going? Did you get?
This is like my auditioning area. It's just where I was set up, so I was just like, I'm not gonna move this. I went with it.
Nice.
My bland blue blanket that was too expensive. I should have just used. I like bought this thing for like $80, and then I realized like a week later that I literally had the exact same thing but a blanket that was like the same size but like for free or whatever. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just keep using this.
Are you working on music right now?
I've been playing a lot of drums, rocking out, trying to play drums every day, just like picking a different record every day to play drums to. It's really fun. It reminds me of like learning guitar for the first time. Like I get excited about revisiting like Beatles or Nirvana because you listen to it in a totally different way. I never really thought of it from the drummer's perspective. I'm like, oh, that's how the song shifts for you back there while I do this thing on the guitar. So it's pretty fun. Also, just learning about the different drummers' techniques, noticing that there's a lot of really bad drummers out there that I have to say kind of probably got lucky time and place, and then other people are just like genius, really adding something to the songs and using their kit. I mean, it's amazing how much of like drum playing is just that one steady like rock beat, that's just like the it's literally like everywhere and everything. People do some like slight variations. Lots of times those variations are like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Like people throw in a little shuffle or whatever. But then there's obviously some just real creative ways of playing drums, and it's fun. Been watching a lot of like Ringo documentaries, although it's really hard to play like him along to the songs.
I know he's a genius, man. He's like he like hides it too. And once you start like playing along to his stuff, and I didn't really like get it. I love the Beatles. I've always loved the Beatles, but I didn't really get it until we did "Don't Let Me Down" with Me and My Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And not just like Paul's bass line, but like also Ringo. Ringo was playing to Paul the whole time, and Paul never repeated.
Yeah.
So it was like the drummer and the bassist were in lockstep with each other, but it was like this dialogue of prose,
right.
like where they weren't like saying a verse chorus thing. They were like saying a full paragraph.
Totally.
And like it didn't really dawn on me until then that Ringo was very underrated. You hear a lot about like John Bonham and like Neil Peart, but you never hear a lot about Ringo. He was just like a part of the Beatles.
Right. I mean, you have to think, it does make sense because just as the Beatles in general, all of them, he got asked to join the Beatles after they had a couple different drummers because he was a good drummer, and he must have been like the best drummer pretty much in Liverpool or whatever, out of because they could have had their choice at that time, so they picked that guy. But going back to Don't Let Me Down, like that, it's, interesting you say that the rhythm section does that as like a linear thing, while the song is just this really repetitive hook. That never changes. There's so few lyrics. There's just the bridge. And yeah, recording those drums with you, we'll put a link to that as well, was really fun. We achieved some cool sounds. I ruined it with some auto-tune. Not really. I wouldn't take it back. But he just had a great feel. And obviously when you sit in the studio like all damn day, you're gonna get like a good feeling behind your kit and stuff like that. And yeah, he definitely shows that. I kind of always had this suspicion that Paul McCartney played like some of the drum fills in some of the songs, but after like looking a little bit more into it, I don't think that's true.
So there is this interview, I'd have to find it, but some journalist was like, "Do you think Ringo Starr is the best drummer in the world?" And Paul goes, "I don't think Ringo Starr is the best drummer in the Beatles."
Right. I think it's John Lennon who says that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And that might have been true, but I do think it's him actually playing in the end, because once you like learn it as a drummer, and then you kind of see how like, okay, these fills are sort of like these other fills from earlier. You see like his growth as a drummer. You're like, oh, only this person would have done this on Abbey Road. It's the guy who did this on Sgt. Pepper and Revolver before it, and you kind of get that. Yeah, playing drums. My friend Matt Penfield, who used to do door at our parties, he moved here. He lives just like a few minutes from me, actually, like 5 minutes. And he's sober now, a few years.
Dude, I know. I ran into him like a little while back. I don't know if you were there or not, but he had lost he looked like a totally different person, man. He lost like 30 pounds, like bright eyes, full sentences, like he was like a totally different human being. And it was like, wow, dude, great to see you. Like I feel like I went through a similar transformation. I didn't lose any weight, but after the sound gallery closed, like, well, I don't need to do cocaine anymore. I didn't need to do it in the first place.
Truth. He's been coming over like every week, and we do a Twitch stream of noise music, like a la Dream Crusher style. And he's got like Ableton, and he's pretty good at. He released like something a couple years ago, and he's pretty good at making some kind of odd tech or Boards of Canada style beats. And I'll play some bass and improv some vocals, and we'll jam for like a couple hours. But nothing too serious, just having fun.
Cool.
I want to make some. I'm getting ready to maybe like make a record or something, but not in a hurry.
I'm playing a show with Tierra at the Cedar. It's a taped performance that's getting broadcasted after the fact. So I think it's gonna come out like at the beginning of March. And it's all like bamba and like traditional style Puerto Rican music with like a modern twist. And it's pretty cool. We had to practice last week for it. Pretty awesome.
Are you playing a drum kit?
I'm playing the drum kit, yeah.
Who else is in the band? Or if you don't know their names, like what are they playing?
I just met everybody. So Truly, do you remember Truly? Did you ever meet her? She was on the Mini Blunts record. She sang on one of the songs. She's super cool. She plays bamba drum and sings with T. T plays a bamba drum and sings. Kamani Beard, I just met him. Super cool guy. Is playing upright bass, and it sounds fucking great, and I cannot wait. And then I can't remember the other two. Rosa, I think, is with us, and then like two other women that are dancing and singing as well and playing drums as well. But it's super cool. Like Kiara did an amazing job. She like repurposed a bunch of traditional Puerto Rican bomba tunes. Like there's one tune in particular that just like hits, like when she explains it, like hits you.
Nice.
And the lyrics in Spanish of the original like folk song are like they cut Ayana, they cut Ayana and took her to the hospital. And it's like talking about this domestic abuse situation, just like really matter of fact. Like they cut Ayana and then they took her to the hospital.
Uh-huh.
Tierra changed the lyrics to say they shot Philando, they shot Philando, they shot Philando and filmed it on a phone.
Damn.
And yeah, and it's like super powerful, man. It's like, and it's all the songs that she did are similar to that, and it's really powerful. She did an amazing job, and
Nice.
I can't wait to perform it.
Good for her.
Mm.
Have you done any of other live performances like that, like a live stream? I saw one on New Year's. Jacob Mullis sent me a link to Hook and Ladder, like him and Solid Gold Dudes and Cecil Otter.
That's cool. I haven't. Lays and Low we were supposed to release our record in April,
mm-hmm.
and that didn't happen, obviously. I mean, we released the record. It's on like Spotify and stuff, but we couldn't do the show. But we did like a live stream meeting or whatever. We just basically got drunk on Zoom. That's what happened.
And did you play music?
I jammed along on my electric kit. It was like a month into the pandemic, so nobody really knew how to do it.
Yeah. Well, anytime you see that shit on like TV and stuff, that's so fake. You know, it's not like there's people just like me and you could pick up instruments right now and be in sync.
I know, for real. We tried it, and I'm like, all right, let's try this. I'm gonna snap, and then you're gonna clap when you hear my snap, and it was like.
Right.
It was like so off. Like, this is never gonna work. You got any tequila? Are you drinking right now?
No. Well, not tonight. I'm not. I haven't been drinking very much. The last couple weeks, I've drank a few times, but I'm planning on stopping like now. Like, I don't want to drink for a good chunk of time. I'm kind of over it. I think I did about a month. From like November to December of not alcohol. That felt pretty good. Definitely for like my lifetime stats, the last like 3 months are like my lowest alcohol intake as an adult. Which is awesome. There's so many days.
Congratulations.
Yeah, no, it's good. I really just, I don't feel good. Like, I can't. If I drank every day and had that like 10 drink a day tolerance that you can build up to, then you sort of get used to it. But if I'm not doing that every day, then of course I can have like a couple drinks and feel fine. But if I have like 4 or 5, which is a seemingly small amount to me, I'll be like so fucked up the next day, you know? How about you? If I was living in Minnesota right now, I would be drinking the winter away. That is for sure.
I have my bar here.
It looks very nice. Very nice. Are you having a cocktail right now?
I am. I'm drinking an old fashioned right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten to the point now. I probably drink more than I should, but every drink that I make is measured out. I'm doing it. I feel like I'm doing it as like a market research thing.
So you're trying to have like cocktails, but you're trying to make like more specific cocktails. You're not just like fucking drinking a drink. For me, it's like if I do drink, like I'll go grab a couple like shitty beers and a couple tiny bottles of vodka, you know, and I like just having like a few drinks. But I'm definitely down in how often I do that, and it's, you know, from back. The whole point of getting out of music for me really was like a health choice in the end, because I was like, I'm never gonna be able to, and I just didn't feel good. So yeah, but I don't think I'm gonna like fully quit drinking for my life. Probably not, but who knows? You never know. I've been smoking tons of weed because weed is so cheap here. Like, dude, I go to this one place and I just got a half ounce yesterday, and it was $64. 3 different strands, like 3 different strands. So I got 2/8 of one thing. I got 4/8 separately, 3 different strands.
Right on.
Yeah, dude, it's like amazing. But then because it's so cheap, I do smoke tons of joints, and I've been going through that.
Hey, you're not live streaming this, are you? You can
No.
cut this out if you. All right, here I'll show you something. I'll show you something I've been working on.
Oh, you don't want the people to see your grow room?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really care, but
It's okay if you don't. In California, it's legal, so you can have that. Here, you can have like a whole room full of plants. So I don't know what it is in Minnesota. Nice, looks good. I want to do that here because it's legal here, and I feel like it would save me so much money.
It's enormous. This is like week 4.
Okay, did you just start doing that?
This is my second plant.
Okay.
So I'm doing it mostly for the bitters because I'm making the cannid bitters.
I see.
That's kind of be like my main market, I think, for when it gets legalized.
What's the weed game like in Minneapolis right now? Like, how much is an eighth? Like $50, $60?
I've been in the weed game for long enough to get deals pretty much wherever I go.
Okay. So you're not paying too much, but that's
No,
still like the standard.
I'm paying $70 for a quarter.
Okay, so that's a little bit better of a deal.
Yeah, but I can't tell you what other people are doing. I just have friends.
What is the law there? Are they going to make it legal? I want to go to Minneapolis.
I think like most people in Minnesota want it to be legal. Yeah. The Republican state Senate is just like full of shitheads, and anything that the Democrats propose, they're just like no. But we can make money. No. And that's it. So I don't know when it's going to happen, but I think there's a lot of pressure on them now, like with the pandemic and whatever. There's like you're going to have a lot of debt.
Yeah.
A lot of debt.
Yeah. Plus, it's, I don't know, a lot of more people are going to need assistance as these small businesses fully tank, because they're kind of still in the process of doing that really, or some are still getting filtered out. I mean, they're going to have to back loans, like give people easy small business loans. Basically, the people who failed whose businesses failed, who still have the stupid restaurant equipment, will be the ones reopening businesses.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's like you just made these people go through this giant thing when if you would have just like organized yourselves. But I kind of think it's a lack of people. I was thinking like, why couldn't they just individualize, like make some algorithm and every restaurant submits what their monthly overhead is, like how many employees they had, and then this is how much it costs for us to just pay our bills and get by, and then stimulus.
It would be really like if that would have been proposed to me back in March, I could have done that like for my restaurant.
Right. Well,
like,
and
I could have told you back then, like this is what we need to survive for the next 8 months or however long it's going to take.
But every restaurateur already has that info on hand because they have to have it for their banks. They have to have it in the first place. Every month they're submitting to the IRS that kind of, every quarter or whatever they choose to do. So it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that it was like a shit show and people need to figure it out, but just the lack of help for the people in that industry. I'm so glad, or not so glad, but very lucky not very lucky. Who knows what would have happened? But, I was in the process of opening a bar/restaurant in Minneapolis. And I wonder how this would have all affected us had we had our thing, would have been rough.
Yeah. Downtown is like a ghost town right now. It's crazy. So many places have closed downtown. It's really sad. Hey, I'm going to grab something real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
How long do you want to be?
It's a 40-minute Zoom meeting, so I figure we just eat up the 40 minutes.
Okay, what time do we start?
I don't even know. Where are you going to go right now? Where are you going?
I just have to grab another blunt wrap real quick.
Oh, okay, cool. Definitely do that. I don't know. Maybe there's a way in Zoom where I can see how much time is left. Will you tell me?
How many subscribers do you got?
62.
Ooh.
Nobody's checking us out, dude. It's just an exercise and fun, and just to keep up. My podcast partners have been kind of MIA the last week, so
Okay.
I'm just giving them some space. But I just want to keep doing stuff weekly. I pay Buzzsprout for 3 hours a month. I want to use it. Nice. What are you making right now?
I'm just gonna drink this rum neat, honestly. I'm not really a rum drinker. I'm reading this book right now called The Drunken Botanist, and it got me like drinking certain spirits neat. And this is a Haitian rum, and it's actually pretty good just by itself. And I've tried making drinks with it, and I just don't like it in drinks. But like just with the ice cube, it's actually it tastes like caramel.
Yeah. I had a friend, a Puerto Rican friend, show me some rum. That was like the first time I was like, oh, rum is delicious. And it's kind of best like that. Like a good rum, you just drink like that.
All right, sorry about that break.
No, that's okay. There was not really a break.
What's LA like right now?
So it's nice because it's summer here, so it's very warm and feels good. And other than everybody wearing masks, like you wouldn't really tell that there's something weird going on. Like it feels very busy in my neighborhood. I feel like there's like lots of gatherings, like way too many. Obviously the restaurants are closed and you can't go to bars, so there's that. But for me, like, I mean, I guess I was going out like at least occasionally, but it hasn't really affected me. Like I'm not noticing that, at least in my life. But yeah, it's kind of like business as usual. I don't really know how to say it, because of course it is a little bit different, but yeah, and that's not good because obviously the hospitals here are getting super full and the LA numbers are very high. So everybody I know is like doing a good job of self-isolation and quarantining, but a lot of people are not.
Do you have roommates right now? Or you just living by yourself?
I have one roommate. You met him, Michael.
Oh, Michael. Yeah.
He is on
Where's
podcast
Michael?
now. He's in the room next door to me.
Hey, Michael. Sorry, you got your headphones.
Yeah. I'll let him know you said hi. He liked you a lot.
I liked him. He was cool.
For me, it's been good. Like, so they shut down like productions, the big productions like Netflix shows, network TV isn't shooting anything, but small productions are still doing stuff like student films and internet ads and stuff like that. So that's, if you're doing that, you're like staying busy. I'm staying busy doing that.
Cool.
It's really dirty here right now, I will say. Like LA is grosser than ever. There's homeless people everywhere.
Oh yeah, here too, man.
Minneapolis has never looked like that. Like when I was there in September, it's just, you think about, it used to look like freaking Disneyland in Minneapolis. It was so clean. Like you could eat off the street in Uptown, I swear.
No siree, Bob.
Yeah. Well, people underestimate how, like, the news showed like the destruction and that stuff burnt down, and it kind of happened in every city, but you don't really get it until you see it in Minneapolis, how many structures got burned to the ground and how many just blocks are just kind of missing, and where they are too in proximity to residential neighborhoods is kind of like, it's a bit of a shock, I have to say. And then the news or whatever, the information that does not really cover it well, like how badly destroyed that place was. I don't know why, but
no, and they politicized it way, way, way too much. As if BLM had anything to do with any of the destruction, which they did not. Like anybody that was making any moves on property was not a peaceful protester. All the peaceful protesters had gone away at that point.
For sure. I mean, there's no like anybody who's doing, well, at least on the left side or whatever, anybody who's doing the looting stuff, it's not like some coordinated attack. It's just people
They're mad.
They're mad, and then they're just like freaked out because they see an opportunity, and so they like choose to be criminals. Really, in the end, it's not really even about like nobody's like, yeah, we're breaking into this Whole Foods in the name of socialism, because fuck capitalism. No, because they're stealing all the stuff in there, like they want it. Like I watched kids walking down my street with boxes of shoes from Fairfax and Melrose District and stuff. And it's like, no, there's no like message or point here to this madness.
Some kid down the street from us. So for whoever's watching, we live on kind of the main drag in Minneapolis, and we live like right down the street from what was the Apple Store, now no longer the Apple Store.
Oh yeah, what is it?
It's nothing.
What?
Yeah, they moved everything out. But anyways, these kids were trying to break into one of the businesses that were nearby our apartment building. And my neighbor goes, guys, what the fuck are you doing? The Apple Store is right there. And this kid goes, hey man, that's a good idea. And he goes on down to the Apple Store. And then like 30 minutes later, we see this same kid like pretty close to the intersection up here being like, I got iPhones for $20. Because I think he figured it out. He's like, oh, I'm not going to get very far with all this shit. It was super funny to see it all go down, man. But also it was really terrifying.
Also, too, I hear like all the stuff that's in the Apple stores and stuff, like none of it will work outside of the store. Like it's all worthless.
Yeah, definitely not. And they can track you.
How's it look? So there's still nothing in like across from Calhoun Square or whatever is what we're talking about.
Calhoun Square is no longer Calhoun Square. It's now 7 Point Square.
Okay. I guess Calhoun was the name of the Southern racist president or whatever.
Yeah.
Bidet Masca. I never thought I'd get that name right, but now I do have it. Bidet Masca.
No, you didn't get it right.
Damn! Isn't it BDEMASKA?
Yeah, Bidet Makaska.
Oh, Bidet.
MKA.
Sorry. Spell it again.
Or MKA. BDEMKASKA.
Okay, I forgot that middle K. Maka.
Yeah.
I forgot that one K. Bidet Makaska. Oh, look at me. I was so proud of myself, and then I just butchered it. Sweet.
I mean, so I got into like, I work with a couple like conservatives. I don't really fucking care what you believe, but like, if you're gonna get into it with me, I'm gonna get into it with you. If somebody was like, I'm not gonna pronounce it. I can't pronounce that. I'm like, if you can pronounce Minnetonka, you can pronounce Bidet Makaska. How about Shakopee? How about like Owatonna? Like you guys are just funny. Being stubborn assholes.
Totally. That's hilarious. Yeah, Bemidji, of course. Anybody who's ever like visited me in Minnesota and we've like gone somewhere like camping or something, they're like, what the hell? Because yeah, everything's got these fucked up native names.
Yeah. I don't really care. You can just call it Lake. It's a lake.
It's a dirty lake.
I love that lake.
Yeah, those lakes are nice. No, those lakes are nice. They look like a postcard for sure. Gorgeous. It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Man, you're making me thirsty for some rum.
Sorry, bro.
It's okay.
Are you exercising? You working out?
If I want to get rum, I can. Yeah, I'm working out. Last couple weeks, not as much. Like I went a couple times a week. I go running, and then I started this lady's like 30-minute exercise aerobic video or whatever, and I just do the same woman's video over and over and over again.
She a German lady?
No, she's an American lady. It's pretty easy. Well, the first couple times I thought I was gonna die, but now I can do it pretty well. It's just like squatting stuff and pretend jump rope and wall sits for a minute. Yeah. I've stayed pretty active. Here it's like, why not? You can just go outside.
Yeah, it's nice.
So went skateboarding on the beach yesterday for a couple
Cool.
hours. That was tight. Except there was like way too many people out. It looked like summer because nothing's open here, so that's where everybody is. And yeah, the beach was pretty packed.
So no restaurants are open.
Nope, only takeout only. In the Orange County, I know they're I don't know exactly if they changed the regulations or if some of the restaurants are just flouting the rules, because I know there's a lot of like pushback on the restrictions.
They're a little bit more conservative than LA.
Big time. Like down there, nobody was really wearing masks much this summer. I mean, you had to in the stores, but just like outside on the streets, you wouldn't really see very many people with masks on. But as opposed to LA here, like everybody, even if somebody's walking like outside, like I'll go running outside without my mask on. And if I see somebody on the sidewalk, I'll like cross into the street. Like I'm not trying to like sweat on anybody or anything. But I'm like the only one. Like I feel like somebody's gonna yell at me out of their car window to wear a mask when I'm doing that. I'm preparing myself. I have one in my pocket just in case, or in case I have like a heart attack or a seizure, and then I can put my mask on, while somebody takes care of me, because I'll really be able to put my mask on once I have that seizure.
Give him out the mouth.
No, he might have COVID.
Well, he looks like he's got rabies. Yeah, I just wear my mask out now because it's cold.
Oh, I definitely kind of like wearing the mask. I like that people can't see my facial expression. I think that's really cool.
Me too. I thought about that too. I'm like, nobody can tell when I'm being sarcastic, and it's actually kind of nice.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm somebody who like, I'd make a lot of faces because I'm like thinking other thoughts inside my head, which is not great. And so people are always like, what's wrong with you? Or like, what did I do to you? And I'm like, I'm not even thinking about you, but I am listening to you, but it's just weird. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Now I sort of see, I've been reading some books like this novel, And the Mountains Echoed, or Kite Runner. They're all set in Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm. I've read The Kite Runner long time ago.
And some of the female characters in those books talk about how like they like the burqa for this same reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Like there is a benefit to it, because when you first think about burqa, like you're like, oh, like, ew, why would you want to be covered? And it's like, no, being covered is cool because nobody can tell that you have this pissed off dick look on your face and you're pissed. And they don't need to know it, they don't need to know it. They could just go about their lives and they don't need to see your stupid face.
It's true. Yep. Oh, I still got to send you that guitar.
Oh, yeah, no rush about that. It was just a thought I had because I have a cool little guitar. I got like one of those massive guitar racks, where all the guitars like slide in.
Oh, yeah.
Slots. And I got them all tuned differently. I like different tunings, and that's why I want that guitar, because I'm like, oh, I could use another tuning. Would be cool.
Yeah, you'll have to fix the input, I think, still.
Yeah, it's like crackling.
Yeah. And I got a cooler dumb guitar. I got a Hannah Montana guitar at the antique shop for $50.
Oh, nice. I think you showed me that. Oh my God, that reminds me of the fact that my Jägermeister guitar was stolen along with like my other stuff. If I had my Jägermeister guitar, I'd be good. I'm so mad.
You know, all the tunings you would need.
Yes, and that one would be so good at open tuning. I think I actually looked online. Well, I tried to look, I think, maybe to see if anybody was selling it, but I was like, should I just buy this guitar? But no.
You just always have a Jägermeister guitar. The last person I saw with it was Brock, and it was at like a long shot show.
The green guitar?
The Jäg guitar?
Oh, the Jäg guitar. He used the Jäg guitar?
Yeah.
No, the Jäg guitar got stolen from my place in LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they stole. Remember, I had like my laptops
Oh
and iPads.
yeah,
So, and I've kind of forgotten that they stole the Jägermeister guitar too. But yeah, they stole that too.
those fuckers.
Yeah, totally. Ugh.
Do you ever play video games?
No, I'm not. I'm not into video games. I
Oh.
I did like. Are you into this new Cyberpunk game? Have you been playing that?
I haven't played it yet. I only have a PS4, and I've only heard like you
Oh
gotta
yeah,
have
it
like
doesn't work.
the most like newest legit shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it doesn't
I'm
work
really
on the
into
game
like
consoles.
modifying my own dick. Really, the only reason why I want to play that game.
That's one of the. I didn't see that you could do that on there. That's funny.
Yeah, you can have like genitalia modifications and stuff.
So I was watching somebody play that game a little bit, and I haven't really been paying much to video game culture or like how games generally are structured these days. But it kind of seemed to me like this particular role-playing game. I mean, yes, eventually you come up on somebody and you have to like kill them, and you got to make some choices. But there's a lot of things in the storyline where it was kind of like leading you. It was like, oh, this was like obvious, like you only had this choice, and then it told you like some story as if you had like made the choice to like be where you were. But it was sort of just like leading you on in this first person thing, telling this narrative, and you didn't really as a player seem to have any action or function. And then maybe you'd fight somebody for a second, and then there'd be more minutes of you just like walking forward and them telling you like this story about what's going on around you. I don't know, it was weird. It seemed like you weren't really doing much. You're just kind of like going through the motions, and it's telling you like a first. It was like a movie with like some moments of you getting to control a character.
Gotcha. Have you ever played Grand Theft Auto?
I played that a couple times, and I felt that was like a lot of action. Yes, that's kind of happening there, but there you can sort of fuck around on the whole level. I guess I haven't really played the Cyberpunk game, so I don't even know what I'm talking about at all. But
Yeah.
seemed in Grand Theft Auto, it's sort of like nonstop action. Like you're driving, somebody's shooting at you, you got to shoot at somebody, no matter where you go.
Yeah, but even like the storyline, you don't really have a choice in which direction it goes until like the very end of the recent ones, at least. Um, there's like one or two or three different like options that you can end the game with, right? Um, I think the first game I remember like that was like Metal Gear Solid, whereas like if you did something early on in the game, then you'd get one ending, and then if you didn't do it, then you'd get a different ending. So that's how I feel like Grand Theft Auto is. I haven't seen anything about Cyberpunk, but maybe it's that same way where you can like modify your characters in a certain way as you go throughout to like adjust their fighting style.
Sure.
But maybe they do lead you. I'm not sure. I've been playing this game called Outer Worlds lately, where you have like more of a choice in the conversation with each character. And then the ultimate choice is, do I kill this guy? But like if you do end up killing the person, then there's consequences usually, and I really like that. Like, but yeah, I was under the impression that Cyberpunk was a little bit more detailed than what you're describing, where like you can like every action there was a consequence to that action, like in real life.
Right. No, it seems kind of uncomplicated that way. It's kind of almost basic. I mean, I think the choices lie more right, like in the details of the characters, features, maybe, and maybe depending on like what features you apply to the character, maybe that somehow changes the story. Anyway, I'm just totally speculating on something that's kind of like ridiculous that I know nothing about. Do you stream yourself playing video games, or do you consider yourself to be good at video games?
Talk about leading into a conversation. I occasionally stream myself playing video games. It's on my YouTube channel, and it's called Noob Chronicles.
Okay.
Because even when I feel like I'm good at something, it turns out that I'm not. One of my favorite video games of all time is StarCraft. And I've literally been playing this game what year is it? 2021. And I started playing it in 7th grade, which was like 1999. So I've been playing this game for like 22 years. And I am a silver level, and I get made fun of all the time by these fucking like 14-year-olds who are like, platinum, I'm diamond level grandmaster, I'm diamond level in Zerg, bro. And it's like, dude, I'm silver, and I can't get out of silver division, and I try so hard. And the last time I was like in a StarCraft, like I was just playing StarCraft, straight StarCraft. I was first place, silver division, number 1, like 20 games above 500. I had played 300 games in the season, and I lost 10 games in a row, and all of a sudden I'm 22nd place. And it's like, I'm never moving up to gold. So I bought a PlayStation 4 and I got Call of Duty.
Nice.
But yeah,
is it easier to get platinum on Call of Duty? I'm just kidding.
I'm still not good at Call of Duty, but I feel better. I feel better about like sucking at Call of Duty because I feel like I've just like put so much time into StarCraft. I should be good at it by now. I'm just not. I've studied. I used to like watch YouTube tutorials every night after I played, try to up my game, and I did up my game, but never got there.
Damn. Well, I mean, you gotta applaud the effort. You know, like.
Yeah. You should play StarCraft.
There's moments. So I've had a couple moments in life, and this is one of them where I've thought like maybe it is a good time to get into video games. And it's moments like these where I realize that I like have this like whole other thing in my back pocket that I could get into at some point. I don't like it because as a kid I was bad at it. My parents severely limited my video gaming time to like something totally ludicrous, like 30 minutes a week or something where you like could never, I couldn't get past like Mario level 4. And then I'd go to my friend's house and, you get the controller if you win, and if you die, you pass it on, and they got to sit there all damn day and play their games. So I think that I don't like losing. I mean, nobody does. And I think this sort of scarred me a little bit in my head. I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to play video games, And then I moved on. And then also part of the deal, like to get my first electric guitar, I think the deal was that I had to sell the Nintendo and use that money to buy a guitar. Yeah.
Wow. I had the opposite experience because it was like I had saved up enough money to buy a PlayStation 1 when I was like 13, and I literally wrote a proposal to my parents. I'm like, look, I've worked, I've saved money. Can I buy a PlayStation and a couple games? And they were like really impressed. They're like, sure, but here's the stipulation: for every hour that you play video games, you have to read. And I was like, okay. And that's an okay deal.
That's a better deal. That's a good deal.
Yeah. And I would end up reading about video games.
That's funny. Wow, they must have felt stupid. Way to like turn that one around on them. At the same time, it's like, you can't blame you. It doesn't really matter. You're reading. It's about video games. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Just to judge you for that.
But
Call of Duty. Yes.
As like an artist, I number one appreciate like storylines in video games. I appreciate suspense in video games, and I appreciate like sound design a lot. So that's like a little tidbit. Call of Duty, the sound design. Whew, I was scared to play it for like 4 months.
Why? Because like the explosions are so loud?
Yeah, it's scary, man. I was like hiding in the restaurant because that's where I felt comfortable. Like
in the game, you're like trying to like wipe down the kitchen and shit. You're trying to like bust tables.
Yeah, I'm like, there's money in the restaurant. I'm just gonna hide here.
Quit shooting outside. That's funny. Call of Duty is not like a game that's more played by a younger audience, right? Like it's kind of Fortnite's more like for kids, right? Like
Fortnite is more for kids. I played that with my nephews. And that game's super fun. It's third-person shooter, and it's like a cartoon. Call of Duty is a first-person shooter, and it's like Warzone.
Okay. Yeah. Call of Duty is like a army game. Call of Duty is sort of like the Bond on steroids. Bond is like the first game
Yeah,
like that.
basically, it's like GoldenEye. Yeah.
Yeah. Sucked at that
Malman and I talked at one point about doing, and I think it's still a cool idea if you want to like try it at some point, where I stream myself playing video games, and somebody else does like an improv session, like a soundtrack to the
too. Sure.
which depending on the video game, it could be really hilarious.
Yeah. Never know until you try.
Yeah, right.
Probably one of those things that you got to do like a bunch of times to really get down right, you know?
Yeah, or you can just fuck around, try it.
No, that's what I mean. That's by trying it, you are. But you know, we're overthinking it now. You know, gotta do it. Just gotta do it.
Yeah, you can't perform, so.
I hadn't been. I played electric guitar a few weeks ago with Matt Penfield. Like we were making the noise music, and it was the first time I picked up an electric guitar in 18 months that I had plugged it into like my amp and stuff. It was crazy. I was like, oh, okay. But now I got on my electrics. I got a Fender Bass 6 that I really like playing. That's like my new favorite toy,
Hey,
probably.
Who did you get that from?
I had an old vintage Ludwig snare, not the super old one, but that big fat like 50s jazz snare drum. It was like thicker, the WFL, and had an ivory color to it.
I think I remember that. Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that one.
It kind of had the snares on it were sort of broken, so if you used it, kind of had to like rig it, but we didn't use it too much. But it looked cool. I put it on Craigslist because I wanted to sell it I wanted like $500. And this guy contacted me. He was a drummer for a band called Arms Akimbo, which was something that I like sounded familiar.
I remember that band.
Me too, and I don't remember why. I met him, and
they were like a hardcore band, weren't they?
Yeah. And he was like, he messaged me like, hey, I'm interested in your snare drum. Would you be interested in a trade? And I was like, no, but what is it? You know, just like, I'm curious. And he's like, oh, I have the 6-string bass, the Fender Bass 6, and I don't own a bass. It's like one of the only things I don't have. And I'd been wanting one, like, just to have. And I was like, ooh. And I was like, well, bring it over. And then I didn't need the money so bad anymore. And he did bring it over. And I was like, okay. And we jammed, actually. It was fun. He like sat behind the kit and I played the bass and we rocked for like a solid hour, and he is good. But he was like, we were rocking. He played he played like he could have been the drummer in Skull Kodiak, it's kind of like that, or Seahorses, or he had that kind of style, St. Paul style.
Is he from Minnesota?
No, they're from here. And he didn't really know much about Minnesota. Like he had said that they maybe had played there once or something. I swear that we'd played with them, or that they had played.
Me too. Like
show there. Like
yeah, like I feel like either me and my arrow did, or like my band from high school played with them, or something like that.
Yeah, I was trying to piece it together with him. Like, do you know this person? No, without name dropping too much. And he couldn't put it together. He's also like the drummer and wasn't necessarily, how sometimes one of the band members doesn't know who the band's talking to about whatever, or might not even know what damn city they're in. Not saying that you are like that, but could be anybody.
Yeah.
Could be any member. He was super nice. He was like, oh, we have a show, come by, I'll put you on the list. You can meet the guys. And then I didn't. So I was just. But anyway, he was super nice, and I got this Fender Bass 6. It's like a Squire version, but it's cool. And yeah, I'm playing like one note, but through like the Pog and like Cathedral, couple pedals. I sound like a church organ, and
nice.
It's awesome.
Do you still use the Helicon for your vocals?
Yeah, I still have the Voice Live 2. My Voice Live 2 is real beat up. Seen all my stuff, man. I'm like, oh man, we toured for a second, like it's all sad, and at the Sound Gallery too, it just got played a lot.
Yeah.
Dream Crusher shows. That
Yeah.
Helicon was on stage like all the time.
Sure was.
Yeah, I'm still getting like wiping sound gallery dust off of stuff at times. Dust and crust, where I'm like, ah, this is still fucking shit from there, like the base of a mic stand and stuff. I'm like, okay.
Do you think there's ever going to be another Me and My Arrow reunion?
Probably not. I mean, but I'm never gonna say never. Like, I guess I would possibly do it. I thought the last one was super fun.
So good.
And it was good, but then at the same time I was like, okay, if we do another one, like even last time I thought the crowd was a little underwhelming. Like I was hoping that we could do enough to sell out that small room as a reunion and stuff. And when we
did
didn't,
sell out that room.
No.
Really? I thought we did. I was under the impression that we sold that room out.
No, we didn't. We did not. And granted, we had no other bands or anything. It's just us. So, but so like to me, it's like, okay, if we do it again, then there's probably going to be even less people, and then, but you never know. I mean, anytime I'm like making music stuff, I'm thinking about who was in that band and who would be fun to play on a track with or whatever. I mean, it's always going to be that.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if Zoom is letting people have free long sessions right now.
Maybe. Well, do you want to keep going or do you want to call it?
No, we can keep going until we get bored. You tell me when you don't want to talk anymore.
I'm just cutting the pizza because Michelle's hungry. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat pizza. Is that okay?
Yeah, eat some pizza. I am maybe going to take a walk. Maybe go get a tiny bottle of rum. Not the shittiest kind.
Are you streaming on your phone?
No, I'm on my laptop. That's too bad. If I was on my phone, I could have walked down the street. Although it's so loud on my street, it wouldn't have been fun.
Oh no. What neighborhood do you live in right now?
I live in East Hollywood.
Okay.
East Hollywood. It's like just pretty much south of the Hollywood sign, a few miles, or Griffith Observatory, like next to the Hollywood sign. So Normandy. If you just go straight north, it turns into Griffith Observatory.
Okay.
We live on Normandy.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very centrally located. We have an awesome place. The parking is just awful around here. We don't have parking spots, and parking can be rough, but I don't go anywhere, so it doesn't matter. But you have to move your car. There's like street cleaning shit every week. And I immediately forgot about it and got tickets right away, which I don't know how I'll ever pay.
How much do the tickets cost there?
$73.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I got 3 of them. But
in a row?
In a 2-month period. I just got confused. There's one day you can't park there on Wednesdays, another day you can't park on a separate side on Fridays. So every week you got to move your car twice. And one time I was like, okay, I'm on the right side. I'm on the Wednesday side. And I looked at the sign, but I must have just not been thinking because I got confused and I was on the wrong side, got a ticket. I thought I learned my lesson. And then of course that happened to me again. I was like, how did I get confused again? I was like, I read the sign wrong. I read the sign opposite of what it says. And then one time I just forgot. That was the first time. The first time I just forgot or something. I forgot what day it was. And then the other 2 times I got confused. I'm like, wow, this is not a good look. If I if I were dating somebody right now, they would question, my human abilities. They're like, I can't be with this person. They're just gonna drain our funds on parking tickets. Right? I mean, that would be my thought if it was turned that way. So Here too, you can't like renew your registration unless you pay your parking tickets, but you can be a AAA member and then pay your registration there, and they like ignore it for some reason. I don't know.
Are you a AAA member?
No, well, but I will be again next week before I have to renew my registration. I'm gonna try. It's cheaper to join AAA than to pay my parking tickets, clearly. So I'm gonna do that. It doesn't even matter because it's just unemployment money anyway. So I'm just like moving electronic numbers from one corporate account to another. And it's just like, why am I even doing this? Because it doesn't affect my life at all. Like I have the same food to eat. I do the same thing. Just I have to take like this like 7 minutes to be like transfer here or enter in this number here.
I had to try to explain that to my mom because she's like, how do you think they're getting all these stimulus checks out? They're printing so much money. I'm like, you think they're actually printing all this money that they're sending to us? It's just a number that's like increasing and decreasing in people's bank accounts. They're not actually minting all of this money to send out to people. It's not how it works.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
The whole like argument of everybody getting $2,000 is going to like lead to some inflation is just people have been so brainwashed. It's like, dude, look at how much money that would be. It's just not that much when you look at how much money they spend on other stuff and they don't even care, and we don't even hear about it. We don't even know that it happens. Like
my $600 stimulus was in and out of my bank account so fast because I had bills to pay.
Yeah, totally.
It's like I got shit to do with this. I'm not gonna even like think about like buying a car or something like that. Like, which is what an economic stimulus should probably be used for, because you're like sending it to other businesses.
Right. Well, and there are plenty of people who are doing that. You know, like my sister and her boyfriend, for instance, they have their jobs still and they get paid a great wage, you know, as two individual people, and they just got that $600 for them. It's kind of, but you know, I'm not like
bonus.
Bonus.
Yeah, no, for real, no, and that's what it should be used for then.
Yeah, do whatever. Buy some ether. You know, get another wetsuit. Like I don't.
Yep, exactly. Stimulate.
Yeah, I actually got to stimulate. So I went from having like 2 free decent TVs, one of which you had given me a long time ago. I still had that like Vizio screen from the studio, and that was like my backup. And my friend Angela, she had given me this Sharp screen that was like a little bit better picture and stuff. So I was using that, and then I had to stay with my parents' house for like a month this summer and move a bunch of my stuff there. And I brought the 2 screens there just to store. And my dad was like making fun of them, like, this is garbage. You need to throw this garbage away. They are not even smart TV. They are not even smart TV. Like, I know, but it's like what I have. So like, and they work fine, you know, like I plug in the Roku or the Amazon stick. It's great. But he got in my head. So like your TV, I was like, all right, let's, you know, you can get rid of that one or whatever. And then of course, like the Sharp TV last week, I knocked it off its stand and it like just so perfectly fell in like slow motion and hit the table, and the screen just completely shattered into nothing. I'm like, fuck, I don't have a TV. So I spent part of my stimulus check. I went and got like $120 TV from Best Buy, nonetheless. There, I stimulated the economy, and now I'm back on YouTube and shit, you know, just stimulating Netflix and Amazon, and you know, like it is
stimulate those big businesses.
Yes, I am stimulating them. There's so much growth.
Best Buy is a Minnesota company, so thank you.
Yeah, there you go. I only use Minnesota products. I only shop at Target and Best Buy. I only eat Post cereal or General Mills or whichever one. I only eat Malto-Meal and Spam. In fact, I've never tried Spam, but then I've been watching people make stuff on the internet with it, and they put it in frying pans and like make it hot and sear it and stuff, like thin slices, or like obviously.
That looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it is really good. Like next time I go to the grocery store, I'm going to use some of my government food stamp money to stimulate Spam, another Minnesota company.
Amen. I've also never tried Spam.
Well, I think we secretly have, because they use it in. So I think sometimes it's the cubed pork in like a fried rice.
Got it.
is what I've learned. So I'm like, okay, that's what that is.
Is it repulsive that I'm eating pizza in front of your guests, your audience?
Just don't do any.
Your 62 subscribers.
There is going to be literally 6 people who watch
I am
this.
one of them.
There's going to be, so I look at my YouTube stats. There's going to be 7 people who look at this, and they're going to watch it for an average of 2 minutes.
That's fine. Hopefully it's just 2 minutes.
But it also goes, hopefully it's these 2 minutes. But I also put it on like all the podcasting sites like Buzzsprout and Pandora and that stuff. Buzzsprout's like I can't remember what they call that, but like the portal, and then through them it goes on to all these, the podcasting apps. And
so when I'm a millionaire and I'm running for president, somebody can look back at this and be like, look at this asshole.
Totally. Exactly. That's what I'm doing. It's just like a record of like me being an idiot. So everybody can see that what a dumb idiot I really am.
Yeah. And then when I'm the president, people can be like, wow, Jacob Gruen, owner of Newsmax Media, really got him there.
That's awesome. Maybe I should buy Newsmax. Good idea.
You should.
Ooh, I saw a funny tweet the other day that was like, or it was a Reddit post. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was like, the subject was that Trump is a plant by the leftist, because like now the left controls everything, and
yeah, it was Antifa all along.
Yeah. And he told people to march on the Capitol, but then he didn't go. He like set everything up. Sort of like the Usual Suspects type conspiracy. Donald Trump is Kaiser Soze.
I'm trying to remember Kaiser Soze. Yeah.
Like all of a sudden we see Trump leave the White House, and this giant like potato sack falls out from underneath his suit.
He's just a thin guy.
Yeah, and he just runs.
I don't think that's gonna happen. We still got like 36 hours to go. A little bit over that.
Yeah, I mean the damage is lasting clearly, so it's not like the flip is just gonna switch. The switch is just gonna flip on Thursday or whatever. It's Thursday, right? The 21st is when inauguration day is.
Wednesday.
Oh, it's on Wednesday. Yeah, hopefully nothing extreme happens. I mean, there is gonna be bullshit happening, but fingers crossed.
I'll be nowhere near. What?
Lauren Boebert's hot.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
I think it was really sexy how she live tweeted Nancy Pelosi's location during an insurrection. This is where you find the Speaker of the House.
I was trying to look up Google. Her husband exposed himself to her when she was 16.
That's why they got married?
They got married later.
I hope so. Wow.
Our friend Nikki works for Ilhan Omar or whatever. I meant to text him. I want to know if he wrote the articles of impeachment, because I think he was like writing policy for her and stuff.
Nikki, so, bass player Nikki?
Nikki from White Boyfriend and city councilor.
Nikki is a she, right?
Oh, is Nikki going by a she now?
I think Nikki has been a she for a little while.
Oh,
they are very great at what they do.
Thank you for correcting me.
And I hope they are successful with that articles of impeachment.
Well, I guess I have not talked to Nikki in a while. That's good. I
haven't either, so I'm not really sure either. But Nikki is really wonderful, and I hope if Nikki is working for Ilhan Omar, then I hope them very, very much success in this endeavor, and I'm behind them.
No, they've been working for Ilhan for a couple years, actually. Like, they were working. That's okay. They were working for Keith Ellison, and then switched over like 2 years ago.
When she got elected, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think there was some time after, but Ilhan's only been in office, right, like 2 years. Mm-hmm. It was around the time that Keith Ellison was having more of those more domestic violence issues like coming to the forefront, I think. Mm-hmm. And I know that Nikki was in some form a policy writer. That was their job.
Cool.
Yeah. And so you'd think they'd have something to do with writing those articles of impeachment, because that's like law. That's like law shit, right?
That is some law shit right there, yeah. Hell yeah. Do you even have any sort of connection? I've been in a band with Nikki. Have some sort of connection with the articles of impeachment to Donald Trump. Gives me so much pride and joy.
Nice. Well, it's cool that Minneapolis is a small town like that.
I know, for real.
Well, her office, the Ilhan Omar office, is in the building right next to the sound gallery.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's in the building, or has an office there in the building that I used to live in, and Bob used to live in there. They have those offices on the second floor, like law offices. And Greg LeMond, the Tour de France winner from like the 80s, he had an office there, because I guess he's a Minnesota dude. Just kind of random. I think she might have taken his office.
Cool. Those were nice stops. I miss the sound gallery. I wish we could be there now as adults. I think it would be a completely different place.
I wonder how we would have treated this whole like pandemic times and stuff. My friends who own the studio here that's very similar in style is they weathered the pandemic as well as they could. They're still kicking. They have like sessions going on and stuff now. I don't think they did for a couple months because legally they couldn't, but yeah, I miss the studio sometimes for sure. And then other times I think more deeply about it. I'm like, how did I actually feel there most days? Mm-hmm. And then I think about it, I'm like, no. But you get nostalgic for just moments, and there are definitely times where you would just be in there by yourself and just look around, looking out the windows, being on the fire escape, mm-hmm. being like, man, this is badass. So
yeah, it was a special place. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm glad I got to get healthy. I'm glad I was afforded that opportunity.
Yep. Well, we should do this again sometime.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, I'm eating my pizza.
That's okay. We can call it. We've been going for like an hour and 20 minutes, so that's a long time for people to tune in. We usually only do an hour. Or now cool. With these Zoom meetings, we're doing 40 minutes, so this is great. But maybe we can do this like once a month or something.
Yeah, man, I'd like to do that. That's great.
Awesome. Okay, yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me. We will put a link to everything we talked about in the description. Link to Mo's bitters. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a drawing that I do of Mo and post on the internet. We'll see what happens here in the next 10 hours.
Well, thanks for having me, Jake. It was really great talking to you.
You too. I will talk to you soon.
All right, man. Have a great night.
All right. Bye.
Bye.